This is Part 2, Episode 177. A solemn feeling flashed across Xiao Yan's heart when he saw Yao Xiaotian and the first elder attack at the same time. One of these people was an intermediate 1-star Do Xing, while the other was an advanced 1-star Do Xing. They were terrifyingly strong after joining hands. Xiao Yan would end up finding himself facing a life-threatening danger if he underestimated their strengths. You two are really anxious. It is likely that everyone present knows just what the both of you are planning to do. Xiao Yan's body shook. He unleashed the King Kong glass body to its limit. His originally large body once again swelled until it reached a 99-foot peak. A bright golden light lingered over the surface of his body before gradually turning into a dark golden color. His golden skin shook as a faint thunderous roar shot out of his pores. Clan tattoo appear. Xiao Yan was dissatisfied despite having unleashed the King Kong glass body to its peak. His hands formed a seal and a mysterious clan tattoo swiftly appeared on his forehead. The moment the clan tattoo formed, Xiao Yan's aura wildly soared in front of the astounded eyes of Yao Xiaotian and the first elder. In the blink of an eye, he had become an advanced 1-star Do Xing. His aura was even a little stronger than that first elder. What kind of secret technique has this fellow used? He is actually able to strengthen himself by 2 levels. Even some ordinary Qian-class secret techniques are unable to do this. The hearts of those two were like a stormy sea. There was an enormous gap between each level within the Do Xing class, yet Xiao Yan was able to instantly leap from the initial level to the advanced level. Such a powerful secret technique was extremely rare. Ha ha, allow me to test just how powerful 2 Do Xing are when combined. Xiao Yan laughed at the sky after sensing this vast and mighty strength that could control the world. His laughter was like thunder that reverberated across the sky. The blood within some of the weaker individuals churned after hearing this laughter. They quickly stepped back. Their blood was already churning despite the fact that Xiao Yan did not want to attack them. If Xiao Yan felt a murderous desire, just his laughter alone would be able to shatter the meridians of any Do Zone class expert. This might was truly something that only belonged to elite Do Xings. Just a laugh alone could shatter one's soul. Arrogant. The first elder furiously laughed. His hand turned completely black as a rich stench pounced over. Just a touch from the lethal poison on his hands would cause even an elite Ban Xing to suffer. Rumble. Xiao Yan did not withdraw. He faced the combined attacks of the first elder and Yao Xiaotian. Both of his hands were waved and a frightening wind was formed like a storm. His fists collided violently with the 2 individuals, 2 fists against 4 palms. Space itself collapsed each time they made contact. A frightening ripple shook the mountains within a 50-kilometer radius until they collapsed. Many 10,000-foot-wide pits also appeared on the ground. The destructive force from a fight between elite Do Xings was mind-numbing. The elders and members from the 9 serene deep-ground python tribe hurriedly pulled back after seeing the terrifying battle in the sky. Should we intervene? From the looks of it, that golden light person seems to be extremely powerful. Even the first elder and tribal chief Xiaotian, combined, cannot gain an advantage against him. Do not be anxious. That person seems to be helping tribal chief Yao Ming. During these years, Yao Xiaotian has basically turned the tribe into a dictatorship. He is far too forceful and cannot compare with tribal chief Yao Ming. It might be good for us if tribal chief Yao Ming returns to being the tribal chief. However, tribal chief Yao Xiaotian has groomed many close aides during these years. Look at those fellows. They are already planning on secretly attacking tribal chief Yao Ming. Stop them. A group of extremely old elders gathered together and engaged in a private conversation. A moment later, many pairs of eyes were suddenly thrown toward a group that appeared slightly younger. Immediately, Do Chi surged out of their bodies. They whizzed forward in a flash and blocked that group that was ready to create trouble. Elder Ming, what are you planning to do? The tribal chief is in trouble. It is fine if you do not go and rescue him, yet you dare to stop us. What is your motive? HMPH, a group of individuals from the younger generation, actually dares to scream in front of this elderless elf. Capture them. Yellow Spring Finger. Quiet Ghost Poison Claw. A huge energy finger once again descended from the sky. It was accompanied by an extremely dark and cold energy, as it ruthlessly pressed toward Xiao Yan. At the same time, that first elder also swiftly approached. His hand claw had formed a black viscous liquid. Even the air itself had been corroded into nothing as the liquid fell. Great Heaven Creation Palm. God Seal Skill, 5 seals combined. Xiao Yang's expression was unusually grave as these two wild attacks approached. His right hand was curled as an enormous black light sphere was formed above it. His left hand also formed numerous seals with lightning-like speed before 5 energy palms were swiftly formed. They merged together and turned into a crystallized palm. God Seal Skill, 5 seals combined, was the first time Xiao Yang had merged all 5 seals together. Its strength was not weaker than the Great Heaven Creation Palm. Bang bang. Xiao Yang's right hand created the Great Heaven Creation Palm, while his left hand created the 5 seals combined. The both of them were unleashed together and collided with the enormous energy finger and the first elder's ghost claw. The entire area was silent as the collision occurred. An energy storm was suddenly formed all from the collision. The space within a 10,000-foot radius completely collapsed at this moment. All the mountain peaks were shattered into dust. Bam bam. Xiao Yang, the golden light figure, staggered back in the sky while Yao Xiaotian and the first elder were both pushed back. The blood within their bodies churned as they looked at Xiao Yang with some shock in their eyes. They were really unable to believe that Xiao Yang was able to fight equally in a head-on collision with the two of them using just his initial 1-star Doxing strength. Damn it, just where did Yao Ming find such a helper? He is ridiculously powerful. Yao Xiaotian's expression was extremely gloomy. His heart felt a vague unease. Xiao Yang's powerful strength had finally caused him to feel that the situation had become a little troublesome. The matter today would likely not be resolved as easily as he had imagined. Elder Ming, you bastards dare to attack the members of the tribe. Yao Xiaotian shifted his eyes. Suddenly he saw Elder Ming's group, which had stopped all of his close aides. He immediately became extremely furious. Tribal Chief Xiaotian, this matter has not been fully investigated. Naturally, we cannot allow others to capture Tribal Chief Yao Ming. Elder Ming cried out. Bastard! Yao Xiaotain was so furious that his body began to tremble. He had not expected these old fellows to turn against him. Not only did they not lend him a hand, they had also become a hindrance. First Elder, what should we do now? Yao Xiaotian returned his eyes to the First Elder, as he asked in a dark voice. Back then, I had told you to get rid of all those old fellows, yet you insisted on keeping them. Now, you have allowed an enemy to grow. The First Elder chided Yao Xiaotian. He also realized that saying this would not help the situation. He clenched his teeth and said, I will block this brat. You should find an opportunity to attack Yao Ming. These old fellows will not dare to do anything as long as we kill him. Yao Xiaotian had just nodded after hearing this when a dangerous laugh suddenly echoed. There is no need to find an opportunity. You can do it now. Yao Ming's clothes fluttered as he stood behind Xiao Yang. His eyes were like sharp blades as they shot at Yao Xiaotian and the first elder. He ceased hiding at this moment. He lifted his foot and slowly walked forward. As he stepped forward, an aura that was even more powerful and frightening than anyone present surged out. 2-star Do Xing. Yao Xiaotian and the first elder's expression immediately turned pale after sensing the strength of this aura. Neither of them had expected Yao Ming to stronger, instead of deteriorating since he had been suppressed for so many years. He had actually soared from the Ban Xing class back then to a 2-star Do Xing. He is indeed worthy of being tribal chief Yao Ming. This talent is many times greater than Yao Xiaotian. Elder Ming's group also revealed a wild joy in their eyes. They were magical beasts. Their training speed might not be comparable to a human, but they possessed extremely long lifespans. Within the magical beast world, spending a couple of 100 years to advance from the Ban Xing class to a 2-star Do Xing was already quite fast. Brother Xiao Yang, Yao Ming will remember this favor of yours. Once I finish off this bastard, I will even be willing to share the 9 serene deep-ground python tribe with you in the future. Yao Ming's eyes landed on Xiao Yang before he suddenly bowed to him. His deep voice contained a great amount of gratitude. If Xiao Yang had not rescued him from the spring, provided him with medicinal pills, and blocked these two for such a long time, he would likely have ended up dying with hatred today. How much of your strength have you recovered? Xiao Yang smiled and inquired. 60%. However, it is more than enough to finish off Yao Xiaotian. Yao Ming loudly laughed. In that case, leave the first elder to me. You should properly settle the debt between the both of you. Xiao Yang faintly laughed. I? Yao Ming nodded. He did not say anything unnecessary as he turned around. His dark and vicious eyes locked onto the pale-looking Yao Xiaotian. He stepped through the air and slowly walked toward Yao Xiaotian. My good brother, today, allow me to return all the bitterness I have felt these hundreds of years to you. Yao Ming appeared in front of Yao Xiaotian, within a couple of flashes. A ferocious expression slowly rose onto his face. Xiao Yang's body moved, and he appeared in front of that first elder after Yao Ming acted. He grinned at the first elder, but the first elder felt his entire body turn cold when he noticed that smile. He understood that everything had already been decided. Bang! Xiao Yang's punch collided with the smelly dense black, Do Chi palm wind of the first elder. A hot fire seedling suddenly leaped forward and vaporized that lethal poisonous wisp. The powerful force also caused the first elder to stagger back. The blood within his body even began to churn. The heavenly flame's strength caused him to feel a little terrible. First elder, you should just surrender. You cannot defeat me. Yao Xiaotian will definitely be defeated by Yao Ming within 10 exchanges. Once he becomes free, your fate will likely be quite terrible. The golden light giant that Xiao Yang had transformed into looked down at the first elder a short distance away and laughed. The first elder's face twitched upon hearing this suggestion. His peripheral vision swept over Yao Xiaotian's battleground. His heart slightly sank. At this moment, Yao Xiaotian had been suppressed by Yao Ming until he did not have the ability to retaliate. From the looks of this miserable fight, it was obvious that Yao Xiaotian would not be able to last for long. Bastard, all these years of effort have come to naught. The first elder felt a fury and dissatisfaction within his heart. He had originally thought that they had already suppressed the 9 serene deep-ground python tribe, until it was under their control. However, the harsh reality told them that this control was an illusion. Once they met with danger, this so-called control became a joke. My good brother, you have made so little progress after so many years. You have really disappointed me. A cold laugh suddenly sounded from a short distance away, while this furious thought lingered within the first elder's heart, a shockingly loud sound appeared, and soon after, Yao Xiaotian screamed. Has he been defeated? The first elder's heart pounded after this miserable screech sounded. He hurriedly turned his head, only to see that Yao Xiaotian was lying on the top of a mountain like a dead dog. Over half of the towering mountain had collapsed. The fight between elite Doshings had easily turned an entire mountain into dust. Bang! Yao Ming violently stomped on Yao Xiaotian's body. A frightening wind erupted from his foot, blasting the huge rocks around into dust. A mouthful of fresh blood was spat out of Yao Xiaotian. Fresh blood and some shattered internal organs were spat out of his mouth again. The eyes of many members of the 9 serene deep-ground python tribe twitched upon seeing this brutal attack. The fight between the two was far too ferocious. Yao Xiaotian appeared extremely miserable, but Yao Ming's body was also covered in blood. Many bloody wounds were present on his body. Blood dripped down from his head, causing his face to appear extremely ferocious. During the fight with Yao Xiaotian, Xiao Ming truly exemplified what it meant to not hold back in a fight. Otherwise, it would have been somewhat impossible for him to finish off a 1-star Doshing this quickly. Looks like this Yao Ming does indeed feel a monstrous hatred for Yao Xiaotian. All of his strikes were extremely ruthless. Xiao Yan was a little speechless after seeing Yao Ming's and Yao Xiaotian's blood-covered bodies. This was really an all-out battle. Big brother, please let me off. Back then, I was tempted by the first elder in committing those beast-like actions. Yao Xiaotian cheerily cried out. His vicious face revealed a horrified expression, as his heart was being stepped on by Yao Ming. Are you only aware that I am your elder brother now? The bitterness I have suffered during these few hundred years has all been thanks to you. Yao Ming's voice was dense. He slowly lowered his body, and his hand rubbed Yao Xiaotian's head. That blood-covered face suddenly revealed a gentleness. Back then, I truly regarded you as a brother. If you had not betrayed me, the position of tribal chief would have been yours sooner or later. You got to enjoy all the good things since you were young. You can forget about having a good life if you kill me. Yao Xiaotian trembled as he sensed Yao Ming's touch. He could sense the murderous desire in Yao Ming's heart. Soon a savage expression flashed over Yao Xiaotian's eyes. Yao Ming's eyes turned dark and cold as Yao Xiaotian was about to circulate his do qi to explode his body. Yao Ming's hand was like a sharp blade, as it was ruthlessly inserted into Yao Xiaotian's head. Fresh blood came spluttering out along with Yao Xiaotian's brain. Bang! Yao Ming was without expression, as his hand was inserted into Yao Xiaotian's head. After which, he slowly withdrew it. There was a round black fist-sized bead in his hands. The bead was smooth as a black fog vaguely flowed within it. It agglomerated into a screeching face, which resembled Yao Xiaotian. All the 9 serene deep-ground pythons in the area looked at that mountain. They could sense Yao Xiaotian's aura, and the ripple from his blood completely vanish from this world. The expressions of those who were fighting some of the older elders also paled at this moment. Their bodies trembled. None of them dared to move. Grief flashed across Yao Ming's eyes as he held that black bead. His heart did not feel much joy despite having taken his revenge. Brothers killing each other was perhaps the most tragic scene in the world. Gulp. The first elder in the sky slowly swallowed his saliva. He had not expected Yao Ming to be this ruthless. Yao Ming did not give Yao Xiaotian a chance to survive. Even Yao Xiaotian's monster core was forcefully extracted by Yao Ming. Clearly, Yao Ming did not wish to give Yao Xiaotian a chance to make a comeback. Xiao Yan looked at Yao Ming, who was standing still beside Yao Xiaotian's corpse. He did not say anything to disturb Yao Ming. Xiao Yang also had brothers. Hence, he also understood just what kind of pain he would end up feeling in his heart if he had to attack Xiao Ding or Xiao Li. Although Yao Xiaotian was the first to betray Yao Ming, the both of them still shared the same blood. First elder, it is your turn next. Yao Ming let out a long sigh as he looked at the sky. He waved his sleeve and stored away Yao Xiaotian's corpse. After which, he lifted his head with a ferocious expression, looked at the first elder, and spoke in a dense voice. The first elder trembled after seeing Yao Ming's extremely ferocious eyes. He understood that his fate would undoubtedly be many times more miserable than Yao's association if he landed in Yao Ming's hands. Demon Snake Sky Explosion. The gaze of the first elder swiftly swept over Yao Ming and Xiao Yang. He suddenly clenched his teeth. Both of his hands rapidly formed a strong hand seal. Then, his body swelled and his skin rapidly wiggled. It seemed as though something was about to break out of his body. Xiao Yang knit his brow upon seeing this. He quickly stepped back, feeling somewhat uneasy. He actually dares to self-destruct. Yao Ming was also startled by the first elder's decisive decision. His body also quickly pulled back. Bang! The body of the first elder finally exploded in an earth-shaking manner, while Xiao Yang and Yao Ming were hurrying away. A frightening energy instantly flattened the mountains within a 10,000-foot radius. Kai Kai. Numerous black energy snakes rushed out in all directions when this assault of energy was unleashed. These black snakes swiftly vanished upon contact with the ground. He did not self-destruct. This old fellow is really cunning. He abandoned his physical body and hid his monster core in an avatar. Surprise flashed across Xiao Yang's heart as he observed these snakes. This old man was really decisive. Having lost his physical body, his strength would greatly decline. There was no telling how long it would take for him to recover to his peak. HMPH, this old ghost has been let off too easy. The energy assault slowly disappeared. Yao Ming's body flashed and appeared beside Xiao Yang. He issued a command to the members of the 9 serene deep-ground python tribe. Conduct a search within 5,000 kilometers. We must find that old ghost. Understood. Some elders hurriedly and respectfully replied after hearing this command. Yao Ming had boasted a strong prestige within the 9 serene deep-ground python tribe. Although he had been missing for hundreds of years, his ferocity and might when killing Yao Xiaotian earlier was sufficient to frighten all the members of the tribe. Congratulations to tribal chief in regaining your position. We will definitely pledge our loyalty until we die. Those extremely senior elders swiftly stepped forward and respectfully pledged themselves to Yao Ming. All elders, thank you for your hard work. The matters within the tribe will be handled by all of you. There is no need to leave those who ought not to remain, Yao Ming spoke in a faint voice. If he wished to regain authority, he needed to purge Yao Xiaotian's cronies. Otherwise, they bring trouble sooner or later. Understood. Those elders respectfully replied upon hearing these orders. Xiao Yang watched Yao Ming settle the matters within the tribe in an orderly fashion, causing him to nod. Although this person had been sealed for many years, his demeanor had not faltered. The tribe would become powerful if given time to develop. Swoosh. Cai Lin's group flew out of the deep abyss, as Xiao Yang ceased activating the King Kong glass body. Finally, they floated beside him. They had not been able to intervene in the battle earlier. Hence, they did not reveal themselves. Brother Xiao Yang, thank you for lending a hand this time around. Yao Ming turned around. Je cupped his hands to Xiao Yang and respectfully thanked him after issuing some instructions. Xiao Yang grinned and waved his hand. Brother Xiao Yang, there is no way for me to repay this great favor of yours. Nevertheless, I must still repay you. Ha ha, do not rush to reject my offer. I think that you will be interested in the reward I speak of. Yao Ming mused for a moment before he laughed and spoke. Oh? Xiao Yang lifted his brows slightly. I wonder if Brother Xiao Yang has heard of the demon saint, Xing, Huangquan Spring. Yao Ming smiled and asked. Demon Saint Huangquan. Xiao Yang was startled. His expression finally varied. That demon saint Huangquan, who once had half a foot in the Do Di class during ancient times. Demon Saint Huangquan. Xiao Yang's eyes stared intently at Yao Ming. A moment later, he suddenly smiled and asked, why? Could it be that this legendary demon Saint Huangquan is related to your 9 serene deep-ground python tribe? Ha ha, the demon Saint Huangquan is naturally not a member of my tribe, but he did have quite a deep relationship with my tribe. After this ultimate expert fell back then, the inheritance that he had left behind had vanished with the flow of time. Yao Ming laughed. He softly continued, there is a Huangquan stone tablet in my 9 serene deep-ground python tribe. It has been inherited since ancient times. All the knowledge of the demon Saint Huangquan is recorded in this stone tablet. It is even rumored that the essence blood of demon Saint Huangquan still remains deep within the stone tablet. Essence blood. Xiao Yang's hand trembled without leaving a trace. It was rumored that demon Saint Huangquan had half a foot in the Do Di class. His strength had almost reached the pinnacle. The blood of an expert, who had almost reached the Do Di class, would gradually begin to transform. If he had been able to successfully step into that level, his future generations would be able to enjoy his bloodline strength and be protected for 100 generations. Another ancient clan would thus be formed. Of course, demon Saint Huangquan had failed to make the last step until the day he died. Hence, his descendants did not enjoy such a blessing. Although his bloodline strength cannot reach his descendants, the essence blood of demon Saint Huangquan was a great attraction to an elite Do Xing. If one obtained it, it would undoubtedly raise one's strength. Since that Huangquan stone tablet hides such a big secret, why is it that your 9 serene deep-ground python tribe has not extracted it until now? The allure of the essence blood of demon Saint Huangquan caused Xiao Yang's heart fill with excitement. However, he quickly regained his cool as he asked a question. Ha ha, Brother Xiao Yang is as cautious as ever. The Huangquan stone tablet is a key treasure of my 9 serene deep-ground python tribe. There are 3 Do skills inscribed on it. The yellow spring finger and the yellow spring palm are respectively a Qian class low level and a Qian class middle level. They are extremely powerful. However, only the tribal chief and a few elders can practice them. Yao Ming laughed and replied. Huangquan finger, Huangquan palm, what about the last Do skill? Xiao Yang nodded. He did not appear to desire either of these skills. A Qian class Do skill might boast extraordinary might, but it did not cause him to feel an extremely great temptation. After all, he possessed quite a number of Qian class Do skills. Yellow Spring Divine Anger, Yao Ming grinned and replied. Yellow Spring Divine Anger. Xiao Yang suddenly lifted his head. Yellow Spring Finger, deciding life and death, Yellow Spring Anger, shatters one's soul. The Do skill that demon Saint Huangquan used, Yellow Spring Divine Anger. Xiao Yang's heart was finally a little shaken at this moment. Huangquan Divine Anger was, more accurately speaking, a kind of sonic Do skill. Moreover, it was a Qian class high-level sonic Do skill. It was recorded in ancient texts that the Huangquan Divine Anger was something that caused the expressions of even some elite Do Xings to change. At least 9 out of 10 top experts, who had died fighting the demon Saint Huangquan, had their souls forcefully shattered by the Huan Quan divine anger. Tian class high-level Do skill. It was the first time that Xiao Yan had seen a Do skill of this level. Based on what he knew, even the angry Buddha reincarnation that he had comprehended was unable to match the Huan Quan divine anger. Of course, if Xiao Yan were able to successfully swallow and refine the purifying demonic lotus flame, the strength of the angry Buddha lotus flame would likely not be weaker than the Huan Quan divine anger. In terms of actual destructive strength, the Huan Quan divine anger might be inferior to the angry Buddha lotus flame, but it was still considered a lethal weapon. Even experts of the same level would suffer a serious blow to their souls if they were careless. It should be known that one's soul was the very foundation of that person. If one's soul was damaged, the resulting sequelae would be many times worse than a physical injury. In other words, if Xiao Yang successfully mastered the Yellow Spring divine anger, even a 3-star Do Xing would end up suffering if that Do Xing was caught off guard. Ha ha, it is the Do skill that Demon Saint Huan Quan is renowned for, Huan Quan divine anger. Yao Ming laughed, feeling extremely satisfied with Xiao Yang's surprise. According to what you have said, that Yao Xiaotian and First Elder should have practiced the Yellow Spring divine anger, right? If they had used this Do skill, we would not have been able to block them. Xiao Yang replied. If Yao Xiaotian and the First Elder had successfully mastered the Yellow Spring divine anger, it would have been a completely different situation. A Qian class high-level Do skill was relatively rare even during ancient times. It was naturally even rarer now. It isn't so easy. No one in our tribe has ever practiced the Yellow Spring divine anger, because the Do skill is hidden deep within the stone tablet. We are unable to obtain the method to practice it. Moreover, no one dares to forcefully break the stone tablet since we are afraid of damaging the demon saint's essence blood inside. Yao Ming laughed in response. In that case, what is Brother Yao's intention by telling me this? Even the many generations of experts from the 9 serene deep-ground Python tribe were unable to obtain the method to practice this Yellow Spring divine anger. Even less needs to be said for us. Xiao Yang shook his head as he responded. Ha ha, others might not be able to do it, but it will likely not be a problem for Brother Xiao Yang. Yao Ming replied with a smile. Oh? Xiao Yang lifted his eyebrows. He quickly crossed his fingers, grinned, and asked, Heavenly Flame. The only unique aspect of him seemed to be his heavenly flame. The heavenly flame might be powerful, but this Huan Quan stone tablet has nothing to do with it. What we require is an extremely powerful spiritual strength. There is a remnant spirit of the demon Saint Huan Quan standing guard within the stone tablet. The method to practice the Yellow Spring divine anger is located inside. Yao Ming laughed. Us magical beasts do not pay much attention to spiritual strength. Even with my strength, my spiritual strength is only similar to that of a Tier 7 alchemist, but I am unable to subdue that remnant spirit at this level. After probing for 1,000 years, we have discovered that a soul that has at least reached the heavenly state will be able to successfully enter the stone tablet, but a soul of this state is usually only possessed by some true Grandmaster alchemists. In the past, the tribe discussed hiring an alchemist guru, but this idea was tossed out, because we were worried that exposing the Huan Quan stone tablet might end up bringing some unnecessary trouble. After all, the essence blood of demon Saint Yao Xing is also hidden inside the tablet. If news of this spread, even some elite Do Xings might get involved. Even some tribe members only know about the existence of the Huan Quan stone tablet, but they do not know the secret that it hides. Xiao Yang smiled. He looked at Yao Ming and said, You trust me enough to tell me such an important secret. Brother Xiao Yang, these random guesses of yours are unnecessary. The reason I have revealed this secret to you is partly because I wish to repay your favor. After all, I am not an ungrateful person. Another reason is because I wish to borrow your strength to open the stone tablet, and allow me to grow stronger, in order to completely control the 9 serene deep-ground python tribe. Yao Ming seemed to be aware of Xiao Yang's thoughts as he spoke with a grave expression. Xiao Yang's eyes stared intently at Yao Ming. Yao Ming met his eyes without turning away. Xiao Yang slowly shifted his gaze after they looked at each other for a while. He mused for a moment and said, "In that case, let me attempt and see if I can deal with the demon saint remnant soul inside the stone tablet." "Ha ha, in that case, I will thank Brother Xiao Yang for your help." Yao Ming rejoiced and laughed after hearing Xiao Yang's reply. "However, there is no rush. Brother Xiao Yang has experienced a big battle today. All of you should rest for a night, while I settle the various matters within the tribe. I will lead all of you to the Huang Quan stone tablet tomorrow morning." All right." The 9 serene deep-ground python had experienced a drastic change. There would naturally be some bloody incidents during the night, but Xiao Yang's group was unconcerned about these bloody matters. After all, this was an internal matter related to someone else's tribe. It was not their place to intervene. A night of chaos continued until dawn before it gradually calmed down. Yao Ming had already appeared at Xiao Yang's group residence when the sun scattered down from the sky. After which, he called the group rest of the group, and they headed to the back of a mountain. Xiao Yang's group did not pause along the way. Within a short 10+ minutes, they had landed near an ancient altar behind Yao Ming. This altar was extremely majestic. It had been with large green rocks. One overlooked the surrounding mountains, while one stood near the altar. Xiao Yang's group slowly landed next to the altar. At middle of the square was a 1,000-foot large pale yellow stone tablet. It stood at that spot by itself while an ancient aura spread from it, causing it to appear as though it had existed forever. "Is this the legendary Huan Quan stone tablet?" Xiao Yang raised his head and studied the enormous stone tablet. Many mysterious symbols had been engraved on it while an unusual light vaguely flickered. The stone tablet had an enormous 5-foot-deep handprint carved into it. A mysterious information spread from within the handprint. It was likely that this should be the so-called Yellow Spring Fingers and Yellow Spring Palms training method. Yao Ming bowed low to this stone tablet. After which, he slowly stepped back. His eyes looked at Xiao Yang as he said, "This is the Huang Quan stone tablet of my 9 serene deep-ground python tribe. The Yellow Spring divine anger and the demon saint essence blood are hidden within it. Whether we can obtain them will depend on Brother Xiao Yang." Xiao Yang quietly nodded. His eyes were grave as they swept over the stone tablet. He could sense an extremely powerful spiritual pressure within it. Just a remnant from his soul already possesses such a powerful pressure. I really wonder just what kind of ultimate expert that demon saint Huang Quan was. Wanna leave it as this name here instead of Yellow Spring. This video will end here.